I'm not even sure it's such a good idea to record a video for some strangers and friends to see. I don't know. I'm not so sure. Let's call this an attempt to understand what the fuck is internet in 2025. And I hope that YouTube won't block this video because there is jazz playing in the background. I'm picturing a person who, for some reason, he lives on an island. And there is nobody else on that island. And suddenly, out of nowhere, he gets an iPhone and very good internet connection. In 2025, November, a person can go online. And the question, as I see it, where do they go? What would be internet for them? I mean this quite literally, and when I put the question like this, where do you go if you end up on the internet right now, today, for the first time in your life? What apps do you install? Which websites do you sign up to? And ultimately, where and how do you meet other people to talk to have conversations of whatever nature? Because I have no clue. And I think it can be a worthwhile experiment, and maybe in one of the possible universes, he fucking creates a YouTube account and starts recording videos of his uninhabited island and becomes a fucking influencer or something like that. The larger point, I think, being that I always felt the internet as an organism which was clear to me. The rules were making sense, so to speak, you know? And recently, I feel that the old rules don't work anymore, and that it's all very different now. I'm lost, man. I'm lost, you know. I would just want to have what I had online before, like a bunch of online internet friends to, you know, banter with around really whatever. Let's say around ideas. Twitter used to be a fucking fantastic place, which was wonderful to hang out, to write your ideas out in public, and was a decent time in my life. That is where I met a lot of people. But that obviously stopped working, and the fragmentation and deglobalization overall of the internet the way people are going more towards the private internet, closed communities, for obvious reasons, of course. But that leads to what? To a complete degradation of the public internet. And hence this kind of overall what the fuck feeling that I have and had for quite some time. And I don't know, I feel a bit crazy sometimes about this. I'm thinking maybe it's all in my head and it's just my particular reality that is like that. But on the other hand, judging by how Threads, that app from Meta, the copy of Twitter, rose out of nowhere in 2 years to something like 200 million daily active users, I think. I need to fact check the number, but that alone shows the hunger for connection, the still ever-present potential of text-based internet communication, and most importantly, people want playgrounds online. People want to connect with other people. People want to make jokes and discuss news and whatever. Hunger is there. But does the guy on an island know about the existence of Threads? That's another question. I have no idea who are the people who watch 3-hour videos, but apparently the popularity of such a format means something, and I'm quite confused how these two things can coexist. On the one hand, there is this constant, ever-present talk for 10 years about decreasing attention spans and all of that, and the rise of popularity in short-term videos, of course. So you kind of get the feeling that, like, okay, everything is either a tweet or a TikTok, and that's it. But then you see, like, Joe Rogan podcasts, 3-hour podcasts, tons of YouTube channels, very popular ones with ridiculous watch times, and that shit not just gets popular on YouTube and elsewhere and earns its creators quite a bit of money. This stuff now elects presidents. Like the success of the Manosphere podcasts and how they defined American elections is something else to be studied. But yeah, meanwhile, here I am, just a dude who wants to, like, sometimes put out his ideas and jokes and little thoughts and observations out there online, and literally I want just one thing. I want, like, people who also kind of care about similar things, let's say like-minded people, to simply be able to subscribe in one way or another to my posts and see them without any fucking algorithm interfering in a conversation between us. And when you put it like that, you realize that most likely that is not possible. Good luck trying to get people to watch a video which you did not upload on YouTube or Instagram, but rather you self-hosted it on your own server. Like, bro, inconvenience has a price. Good luck to all musicians who are leaving Spotify, so to speak. Dude, I told you this was not a good idea. But I thought, you know, in terms of direct subscription, that is not something that's possible on Instagram, because you have zero control almost over who you see and who you don't see. Like, it's decided for you, and you don't, most likely you're not consciously thinking about this. But email feels that email and that kind of direct delivery, that's a thing. I'm not so sure about messengers, but apparently the introduction of channels, broadcast channels on both WhatsApp and Instagram suggests that people are looking for alternative ways of distributing their stuff. Distribution became impossible. Like, 2025 is the worst year to publish literally anything online, no matter if you're a writer or an artist, or you wrote some kind of work-related essay, or you made a movie, or you're just like a little business owner trying to market their services and like make a living online. Where the fuck do you go? What the fuck do you do? How do you get people to pay attention to what you're doing? Bloody hell, I have no idea whatsoever. Honestly, like 5 years ago, if you would have asked me that question, I would be like, dude, just go on Twitter and Reddit, find communities related to your interests, start posting on Reddit, reply to other people's posts, easy. Or go on Twitter, similarly, start posting, and you will start discovering people who kind of are into similar things. You know, there were ways to find people to have chats with, and that's all dying. Like Stack Overflow, remember Stack Overflow and the curve of what happened to it since the ChatGPT release? That's what I'm talking about. Like, the more we spend time with chatbots instead of posting our questions and having conversations in online spaces, and not closed Discords or like little friend group chats, but in actual public spaces where anyone can go. What the fuck we left with even, if we don't have that? I don't know. And so yeah, the advice that I would give 5 years ago, 10 years ago, like, that doesn't work anymore. Yeah. You have much less control over who gets to see what you post. You are heavily penalized for not posting for a long time, or whatever. Like, it's ridiculous. You might have 1,000 followers and your post will be seen 30, 40 times. How? Why? It's very stupid. And you know that it used to be 500 and now it's 30, 40. And you're like, okay, what do I do now? Like, apparently this place kind of works against me. And it feels like fucking hitting against the wall. And I kind of don't want that. So, obviously, I'm gonna transcribe this, rewrite this, and turn this into a more coherent ESET type thing, and hopefully, send it over an email. But I thought I would also try to record a video to, let's say, verify a few assumptions. One is like, is it possible to start a YouTube account now? Does it make sense? Can you get new people to watch this stuff? I never did it. I had for quite a bit of time wanted to try doing some kind of podcast, and I think involving video makes sense simply because it's, I guess, the closest thing to proving online that you are real, you know. And I intentionally I'm recording this on front camera and not on the high quality one. I gave zero shit about how I look, what's the background. Like, this is like you came to my house and we're having a tea and a conversation, only I'm the one who's talking. Yeah, but I want to have the sense of presence and an eye-level conversation, and not like me fucking broadcasting shit, you know? I don't want to be a fucking asshole, and there is plenty of assholes on the internet. So yeah, so I want to try to publish this as a long video. I'm gonna see if I can cut it into short ones and post them as these YouTube shorts, and yeah, possibly somehow try to link this all to the email list that I have with like a few hundred people. And just, yeah, somehow I want to create this little universe. Like, apparently, if you want to do anything at all online now, you need to be putting your shit out in every format possible. So, recording a video, out of that, I'm automatically getting an audio, which I can publish as a podcast, quote unquote. Out of this, I can also make little cuts, and those would be short video clips to reuse on Instagram and TikTok and wherever else that you want that. Like, everyone is flooding the internet with content, and that is annoying, and that is just now insane. Honestly, the state of the internet right now is insane, that half of your LinkedIn feed or more is either bots or people copying and pasting stuff from ChatGPT responses and using these DALL-E or whatever mid-journey generated imagery. Like, I don't want to see this shit, but there is no button hide all AI generated content. And this sort of battle between people trying to post for other people and bots hijacking that space will have obviously terrible consequences for the public web. Because when you invent a network for people to reaching other people, and then slowly that network deteriorates and degrades, and it becomes harder and harder and harder to reach people, and also becomes harder to identify who is real and who's not, what is real and what's not, then eventually you get tired and you leave. Where to? Great question. No idea. But having said that, for now, that still seems to be the primary option if you want to reach people like in your life who you know, who is, let's say, saw one of your project and wants to follow your project. Just you need to have a why for them to receive signals from you, as simple as that. And so it's not a question of like either you do Threads or you do LinkedIn or you do Twitter. Like, you do all of it. The only thing is that you need to be able to do all of that from one place. The place being some kind of environment where you, let's say, record a video like this, and then you literally say, do the magic. And then out of this video, your little piece of software does the basic editing for you, creates a transcript for you, creates short clips automatically, creates a podcast version with cover and everything, creates obviously the subtitles for all that, as well as plain transcript that is reformatted for the email newsletter, as well as images for Instagram and Instagram stories, and a fucking, what do you call it, carousel or attachment for LinkedIn, etc., etc. And then just publishes it, just like that. And you're not fucking opening all those networks one by one, having like 10 tabs. No, dude, you see all the responses in one environment. You see all the comments, all the messages, etc. So like, what? Because that's what you care about. Who saw it and who replied something to you. And that can happen across like X, Threads, Instagram, Facebook, still some people, possibly someone's you met once in a trip, follows you on WhatsApp and would be fucking amazed to see your stuff, but you never post on WhatsApp because that's cringe, right? Like, you need to be able to have presence everywhere and like post anywhere, but from one single place, because there's no way I'm copying and pasting every post across multiple networks. That's just insane. And there is no way that I'm checking replies separately, because that's also just way too much context collapse. So I believe that obviously something like this exists, and I'm gonna look it up and try it. I'm pretty sure that it should be different from what I envision, and so the only option would be to vibe code it. Try to vibe code it myself. But like having something like this, like a place where I can just sit down and record thoughts with camera or without camera, just with voice, and then sort of build an array of different multimedia artifacts out of that, with like spending less and less time on the tedious work of editing, converting to formats, etc., 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 and spending more time thinking of ideas of things to say, and concentrating on the creative work and not the technical work of releasing things online. It will be so bloody wonderful, honestly. I mean, again, this is just an assumption. It might as well be that none of this will work just as well, but I need to find a way. It's as simple as that, because like my work opportunities as well as some friendships largely depend on internet connection. I mean that quite literally. Internet connection. And I just want to reinvent a reliable way to reach people. Yeah. Reach people with the things I make, and for me in turn to be able to receive signals and news from them. And for now, there is nothing except email newsletters that really does that job, but I also understand all the disadvantages of newsletters and email overall. At the same time, this seems to be the most reliable thing. So obviously everyone's inboxes are overloading, but like if you had a separate new inbox just for like hanging out, let's call it that, and you subscribe only to newsletters which you actually would read and not hoarding, and you treat it as like a separate different place. Or should we all just write emails to one another? I don't know, man. This is of course a bit of rambling, but I hope this is even like slightly, maybe a little bit interesting. I have no idea if I would put it out. Again, I said in the very beginning that this is a terrible idea to publish this. But then again, like, what's the worst? What's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is that nobody would watch it. Well, great. I'll send this to a friend of mine, and he'll be thrilled. She'll be thrilled. They all will be thrilled. Yeah, but also I think is very much worth experimenting with. I mean, do I want to record videos? Not really. On the other hand, if the algorithms of social playgrounds show videos and not my beautiful text, then, well, I guess I can record the video. I mean, I would rather not, would rather write it beautifully said, but okay, I can do this. Still, I'm absolutely unsure that anyone would care to watch this, because it seems to me that like I would never watch this shit. And like, can you give me the 2 minute text to read? Thanks. Make your argument, dude. Make the point. Like, I don't have time for this. But also, you know, maybe I'm being too critical. Maybe I'm being far too judgmental. Maybe I'm overthinking this. I have no idea. There's only one way to find out. So let's spend the winter chatting on camera and just putting out all the thoughts. I try to do it over email. It doesn't work. I don't feel alive when I'm typing. First of all, there is just no presence. Like, I have no idea if anyone's on the other side. I have no idea if anyone would watch this. I mean, read it in the case of email. I mean, here it's the same, but at least, you know, when I talk, when I speak, when I move my hands, which luckily cannot be seen, I feel slightly more alive, slightly more present. And I speak like I talk to someone, let's say in a bar or similar setting. I'm not fucking performing for an audience, and I think that is crucial. I think that it would be great to just fucking use on the internet for non-performative conversation type media exchange. And I mean, probably live stream would have been a better idea for this, which I can do next time. Why not? Yeah. And obviously it's best to have like more structured and prepared things up front. But anyway, you know, if there is like one little idea or sentence that will resonate with someone and they will tell me like, yeah, this is good, that's it, my job is done. Anyway, I'll probably stop here. If you for some reason watched this, I'm sorry, but thank you. And yeah, I'll see what will come out of that. Cheers. Still here.